Hello and welcome back to my channel. I think these things that I'm going to talk about today are things that you can relate to if you live in Korea or have lived in Korea, whether you are a foreigner or a Korean person. So number one is the soundproofing. If you are not the extremely wealthy, you probably live in an apartment or even like myself, a one room. But basically in Korea, most apartments are built quite thin. The walls are paper thin. And for me, actually, when I'm in the washroom, I can hear my neighbors' conversation and I can hear them coughing. I can hear them on the phone, I can hear them fighting, I can smell the cigarette smoke exactly as if they were smoking right next to me. So it's really bad. Last year, I kept getting complaints from my neighbor downstairs. She said that I was too loud when I was walking, apparently, because I do nothing but walk in this room. I do not dance or jump or bang heavy objects. But she still said that she kept hearing kong 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 sounds like every day, and I was like, girl, I just be walking in my room. I don't know how else I'm supposed to walk. And this lady came up to my house like 3 or 4 times at midnight, which is, I guess, the only time that she assumed I was at home. I was like in my bed about to sleep, and she would ring my doorbell and she would be like, excuse me, like in Korean, she would be like, excuse me, open the door, you're being too loud. So stressful. Because of that lady, I was like literally trying to tiptoe across my room every single day. And I was like, well, I can't glide, so you're gonna have to deal with it. And actually, my boyfriend Austin went down with me to like give them juice and apologize and be like, oh, sumimasen. I mean, 죄송합니다. If you're a girl, preferably bring a dude because it just helps here in Korea where it's male dominated to have a male presence, and things will work out. Your neighbor will stop bothering you. The second most stressful thing about living in Korea is taking the bus. Taking the bus is so stressful on so many different levels. For one thing, there is no sign on the bus that tells you which direction it's going to. It does not indicate the next stop over from where you are on the bus. So you don't know if you're heading towards A or B. The second thing that is really stressful about taking the bus is that you will get shoved when you try to get on and off the bus. People, especially them older folks, they be ruthless. And the last thing that is super stressful, I cannot tell you how stressful it is about taking a bus, is that the bus drivers be demoniacs. They be crazy. They will literally swerve around a roundabout. It's not like, oh, let's watch and yield. It'd be like, because these bus drivers, they on a tight schedule, like bam, bam, bam. And they will stop maybe 1 second for you to get off the bus. So if you get up when they make a full stop, you be late. The third most stressful thing is the dust in Korea. I live in Busan and it is already quite dusty, but if you live in Seoul, it's apparently even worse there because the pollution index is higher. And because I live in an apartment with not so great insulation, the dust blows right through my window, like the cracks of my window, and just lands on my floor. And so basically I have to clean my floor pretty much every 3 days if I want it to be clean. I actually clean my place maybe once every week, and I can tell you that cleaning once every week is not enough because every time I wipe once a week, my dust cloth would be like black. The fourth most stressful thing, not necessarily in order, is these small spaces. So this should go along with number one, which was the lack of soundproofing. Korean houses are also very small. If you come from America or Canada or Australia, you will definitely agree with me. When you come to Korea, the spaces are much smaller. I understand, of course, that this is due to the extremely high population density and the lack of land in relation to the amount of people. So I'm complaining about this, but I'm not saying that there's really anything to be done about this. But basically, be prepared if you are a foreigner coming to Korea to have tiny kitchens and tiny washrooms. My place, actually, if you can see, is quite spacious, and I have been to a few of my friends' places, and I've heard from many people that I was very lucky getting this place because for one room it's actually very spacious. That being said, my washroom, if you go in, is still the shower is still combined with the toilet. If you watch my apartment tour video I did way back when, you'll see what I mean. But essentially there is no bathtub and the shower is not separated from the washroom and the sink area by like a door or anything. There's not even a place to hang like a shower curtain. So please keep that in mind, that is pretty standard for Asia. When I lived in China for a while, it was like that also, is quite common. But if you are North American especially, you might not be used to that. The kitchen also, if you watch my room tour, you will see what I mean. It is very small. I literally have the space of a cutting board for counter space. So when I cut my vegetables, I put my cutting board there. But then after I cut the vegetables, I'm like, okay, I need to put this in a dish, but then there's no place on the counter to put a dish. So I'd have to like put the vegetables in a dish and put the dish on the floor while I cut more vegetables and then keep doing that. Actually, I sometimes have to put the cutting board on top of the sink because the sink is the exact same width as my cutting board. And I cut my vegetables on the sink, so then I can't really wash vegetables at the same time. Anyway, as you can tell right now, I am stressed just thinking about it. It is so stressful, the small spaces. And if you watch my previous video that I made months ago about my likes and dislikes about living in Korea, that'll also help to give you some more ideas about some of the things that are not so ideal. This video, I haven't covered all that many, but please check out that video. And I will see you in my next video. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.